Hey guys, this is Tyler with Fortune Auto. Today we're going to be working on this Evo 10. We're going to be installing a set of coilovers and we're going to show you how it's done. So we've got the luxury of working with a car lift, but you can do the same job at home with a jack and jack stands. We're going to start out by taking the bracket off that has the brake line and the wheel speed sensor. Using a 12mm wrench, there's a nut on the back side of the strut. We'll just take that off. Right, next we got to get this plastic bracket off. It just pulls out from the sides and then just move it out of the way. And just for safety, we're going to support the control arm. You're going to want to do that in case it drops. You don't want to put any more strain on the axle. There you go. You can wiggle the bolt if it's stuck with the wrench and then it'll pull out. All right, now we can lower the support on the control arm and we're going to lower the car so we can get access to the top hat bolts. Now we're going to go after these three top hat nuts. They're 14mm. We can use a socket on these two, but with the this cowl being here, it's kind of hard to get a socket on there, so I like to use a wrench. All right, and this last one, make sure you have your hand on the strut so it doesn't drop. Come right out. Just be careful not to drop it onto the axle boot because it could tear the axle boot. All right, before we install this on the car, we want to go ahead and set preload on the spring. That's a 7-inch spring, and we like to preload them about 1/4 inch. So you want to compress the spring to 6 3/4 inch. So yeah, it's a 7-inch spring, so we're going to compress it to 6 3/4. All right, there we go. That's a 1/4 inch preload. All right, once you get your preload set, we'll go ahead and lock it down. All right, now we're ready to install. And for install, we're just going to do everything in reverse order. So we're going to start out bolting the top hat on. Just twist the nuts on, and we'll torque them down later. So we're going to line everything up, and then we're going to use our jack to lift it up and make our life a little easier. Once your bolt holes are lined up, go ahead and put our bolts in. So these two bolts are different. One of these has a cam lobe on it for setting your camber. So you want to make sure that goes to the top. Go ahead and put the plastic bracket back in. It'll just clip right back into place. And we'll go ahead and bolt this bracket back on. All right, now we're installed. All right, once you have your camber set to where you want it, you go ahead and torque these down to 81 foot-pounds. And then your top hat nuts, you want to torque those to 38 foot-pounds. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move on to the rear. We're going to start out by taking the wheel off. All right, so there's two ways you can do this. You can either start in the trunk and remove the top hat first, just loosen it up, or you can start at the bottom and take everything off of the bottom. The reason I'm starting with the top hat is because I'm working by myself. I don't have anybody to catch the coilover if it drops. So I'm leaving everything connected down here and starting at the top. Next step is to get access to the top hat nuts. To do that, you got to take the interior out of the trunk. If you still have the factory sub, it's just one plug and a few 10 mil bolts. Just take that out, and then you take the liner out, and that'll give you access to what you need. So this front one here, pretty easy to get to. The back side is kind of tricky. If it makes your life a little bit easier, you can remove this tank, but we're going to try to avoid that. I'm using a U-joint on my ratchet. See if I can actually reach it back there. That wasn't too bad. All right, you want to be careful because your coilover is going to drop. All right, once again, just for safety, we want to make sure we have something under here to support it in case everything drops. All right, we're going to start out by getting this bracket taken off because we're going to need it out of the way so we can move the coilover forward to get it out. All right. Just move that out of the way. Next step is to get this long bolt out. It's a 17 mil. You should be able to slide this out and then drop it down. Lower everything down. Stuck like this one is, you can use a pry bar and just push it. There we go. Down, tilt it forward, and it comes right out. Just like the front, we want to go ahead and set our spring preload. And again, it's 1/4 of an inch. All right, and these are 7-inch springs, so we'll go ahead and preload it 1/4 of an inch. Right on the money. Go ahead and lock it down once your preload's set. All right, once it's locked down, we're ready to install. Now we got to get that sway bar bracket back on, so we're going to go ahead and support the control arm, jack it up, make life a little easier. All right. Once that's tight, we can go ahead and jack up the control arm until we can get our top hat bolts lined up. All right, we got everything installed. Now we just got to torque everything to spec. Starting out with the top hat, it's 38 foot-pounds. The two 14mm bolts that were on this bracket, they're going to be 29 foot-pounds. This last bolt here, you want to make sure you torque this one with the car under load, so it's on the ground or at least supported. And this one's going to be set to 52 foot-pounds. To adjust your ride height, you just want to loosen this collar, and then you can twist the body of the coilover in or out depending on whether you want to raise or lower the car. And once you get your ride height set, lock it down. All right, once you're happy with your ride height, go ahead and lock it down. You can use the spanner wrenches supplied with it. Lock it into place. So we're going to go ahead and torque down our spring perch and our locking collar. The locking collar is a 4mm. It's going to be 6 foot-pounds, and the spring perch is going to be 11 foot-pounds. And the same applies for the front. And that's how you install coilovers on your Evo 10. Once you get your ride height set and you're happy with it, make sure you get a proper alignment done. It's very important to do that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via email or give us a call. We'll be happy to help. Thank you for watching.